Hello students, welcome to another class on fundamentals of cloud computing. Today we will study about scalability and its types. So before going into the types of scalability, let us see what is scalability. Cloud scalability is one of the most prominent features of cloud computing. A scalable cloud can grow and manage the increasing demands of processing, networking, infrastructure, and software from the industry. It is one of the best experiences of flexibility in resource management and cost efficiency. In case of a short demand to increase the computing power or storage spaces to tackle a larger workload, nodes can be easily added to a scalable cloud. Once the demand is over, the business can roll back to its original configuration with the same ease. This is a big advantage for any business since they do not now need to overhaul their IT infrastructure for short and sudden demands. This means that previously, that is before cloud computing, what used to happen? The businesses needed to predict the amount of resources they need and predict the infrastructure and all the things which they need beforehand. But nowadays, since we have introduced scalability in cloud computing, they do not need to overhaul their IT infrastructure now. Scalability can be of three types. So coming to the first type of scalability, that is vertical scaling. Now, vertical scaling refers to adding more resources, that is CPU, RAM, disk to your server as on demand. Vertical scaling is most commonly used in applications and products of middle range as well as small and middle-sized companies. One of the most common examples of virtual scaling is to buy an expensive hardware and use it as a virtual machine hypervisor. Just look at the diagram which is given in the slide. This is the diagram for vertical scaling. So initially, the size of the resource was this small one. On demand, that is when we need it, the resource increased or the configuration increased from here to here. That is why you have to put the arrow from down towards up. And after we are done with our job, it can even come from top to down. In this scalability mode, resources can be added to your existing operations to manage an increasing workload. There is no need to alter the code really, it's just resizing the capabilities by moving to bigger VMs or adding the expansion units. A notable flaw with this type of scaling is that since the computing capacity doesn't increase according to the size, there could be a reduction in performance. Hence, we can say that vertical scaling usually means upgrade of server hardware. Some of the reasons to scale vertically include increasing IOPS, that is input-output operation, amplifying the CPU or RAM capacity as well as disk capacity. However, even after using vertical scaling, whenever an improved performance is targeted, the risk for downtimes with it is much higher than using the horizontal scaling. There are two terms which are related to vertical scaling. The first term is scaling up. Scale up is termed to be performed when resources of a node are increased. It can be storage, space, memory, computing capability as discussed in the earlier slides. There is another term called scale down with respect to vertical scaling. Scale down refers to the process of decreasing the resource from the node. In case of virtualization, this can be achieved easily during runtime. So students, please remember there are two terms related to vertical scaling. One is scale up, that is increase of the resources or adding of the resources to the node. The other term is scale down, that is decreasing the resources from the node. Now, with this, we come to the second type of scalability called horizontal scaling. Horizontal scaling is a must-use technology whenever a high availability of server services are required. Scaling horizontally involves adding more processing units or physical machines to your server or to your database. It involves growing the number of nodes in the cluster, reducing the responsibilities of each member node by spreading the key space wider and providing additional endpoints for client connections. Dear students, I would like to draw your attention to the diagram which is given in the slide. So you can see we have added more number of nodes in case of horizontal scaling. That is, we are adding more number of instances. I hope that the difference between horizontal scaling and vertical scaling is clear to you now. In case of vertical scaling, we never added a new node. We added resources to the existing node. But in case of horizontal scaling, we have increased the number of nodes in the cluster. Horizontal scaling has been historically much more used for higher level of computing and for application and services. Although this does not alter the capacity of each individual node, the load is decreased due to the distribution between separate server nodes. Horizontal scaling has the advantage of increased performance along with the storage and management capabilities. Another term for horizontal scaling is scaling out and scaling in. Horizontal scaling works by adding nodes to the regular infrastructure. The increase in nodes manages the increased workload volume and latency is thereby reduced. Dear students, in case if you need a quick recap, latency is the time which is needed for response. Before going into the third type of scalability, let us see quickly the differences between horizontal and vertical scalability. Horizontal scaling is often based on partitioning of the data in which each node contains only part of the data. But in case of vertical scaling, the data resides on a single node. Scaling is done through multi-core by spreading the load between the CPU and the RAM resources. The second point says horizontal scaling or scale dynamically is quite easy as you can add more machines into the existing pool. But students, in contrast, vertical scaling is often limited to the capacity of a single machine. Scaling beyond that capacity results in downtime and comes with an upper limit also. we come to the third type of scalability, that is diagonal scaling. This mode of scaling can be seen as a combination of vertical and horizontal scaling. With diagonal scaling, you get the flexibility of adding more resources according to the needs in specific time instances. When the traffic goes up, the requirements are met. When the traffic decreases, the configuration goes back to normal. My dear students, kindly see the diagram which is given in the slide. You can see both horizontal as well as vertical scaling followed in case of diagonal scaling. Now, at the end of this topic, we come to the benefits which we get out of cloud scaling. First of all, it's fast and easy. Extra VMs can be commissioned to deal with the increasing workload by only a few clicks. There is no delay in the services at all. Second point says it is cost efficient. Scaling up or scaling down or in and out or diagonally is highly cost efficient than setting up an infrastructure that remains unused most of the time. Dear students, as already mentioned, before the concept of scaling came, we used to allocate extra resources. We used to allocate extra nodes. So most of the times the extra nodes remained unused, which is being avoided in case of scaling. Third point says better performance. A scalable architecture can deal with sudden increase or decrease in traffic and perform accordingly. There is no wasted resource or lag due to any insufficient infrastructure. The fourth point says about capacity. A scalable cloud is by design capable of taking care of the growth and data requirements of ever-growing business requirements. Dear students, since the concept is new, you might find it a bit difficult. So to make the things little bit easy for you, let us see a practical example which you can relate to cloud scaling types. One way to look at it is to think of vertical scaling like retiring your Toyota and buying a Ferrari when you need more horsepower. With your super fast car, you can fly at the top speed with the windows down and look amazing, right? But while Ferraris are awesome, they are not very practical. They are very expensive. And at the end of the day, they can only take you so far before they are out of gas. So this is a way of seeing vertical scaling where you are adding more resources to that particular node. So you are adding more horsepower to your car. Horizontal scaling gets you that additional horsepower not by ditching the Toyota for the Ferrari, but by adding another vehicle to the mix. In fact, you can think of horizontal scaling like several vehicles you can drive all at once. Maybe none of these machines is a Ferrari, but no one of them needs to be one because we just need our work to be done. So across the fleet, you have all the horsepower that you need. Comparing it to the horizontal scaling, students, we are adding nodes. We are adding new nodes, okay? But we are not ditching the existing node or we are not adding more resources to the existing node. So I hope this will help you and help to make the concept clear. Hope you enjoyed the session. Hope it helps you to learn. Thank you, students.